face trials. It is not easy. I know most of us here would have gone through one or more challenges in life that would have made us want to give up on ourselves. I know we might have gone through one or more or two excuse me, hard life trials that would have made you to think that committing suicide is the next thing, or to think that death is even better than staying alive. Yeah, it's not easy. Life is not easy. Life is very, very hard. And I'm going to use my story to make us understand one or two things why we face what we face in life and why God allowed these things to happen to us. Before that, I want you to know that for you to have been facing any challenges or trials in life, it shows that you're a special person. It shows that you're a very, very important person that the enemies are so jealous of, and they cannot just take what you carry. So in order for it not to come to fulfillment, they just have to get jealous. They just have to be jealous of you. And the only way they can make that dream to go down is by attacking you, which is why you see what you face. Like I said earlier, if you're facing any challenges in life, just know that you're a very special person. You're a very, very special person, very powerful person. You carry a great glory that the one that God cannot give them. God gave you that because you're so special to Him. So without wasting much of your time, let's go right into the reason why we are here. My name is Elizabeth Abel, and this channel is named Amber Spiritual Journey. Not because my parents named me Amber. No, Amber is a combination of all the names I've been given the day they were doing my naming ceremony. Yeah, so that's what formed the name of this channel. I have other varieties of channels on YouTube, but I will share along the line of the story anyways. So I want you to stay with me to the very end. Please don't rush to go out or to stop the video now. You're gonna learn one or two things here in this video. Like I said, my name is Elizabeth Abel, and I'm here to share my true life story for us to learn. My parents are Nigerians. My dad is a Yoruba in the Nigerian, one of the Nigerian culture or tribe in Nigeria, while my mom is the South, another tribe or another culture or tradition in Nigeria. And you can imagine the combination of the both of them. East meets South, and then they're both water. Yeah. So let me start from there. Pardon, you're gonna pardon my English. I might not be perfect as you want it, but please just bear with me. I'm already emotional right now. I'm trying to control myself. My dad and my mom met when they were very young, and their tender age, not very much tender age, maybe when they were, this Romeo and Juliet and everything, they loved each other during their youth too was a military man, they are expecting a whole lot of things from her. She knows how to play football, and she's very good in any sports. Likewise, my dad. So they met each other on a football field, and their love story started from there. Fast forward to when she got pregnant of me. My dad left. My dad left. He never came back till after 7 years. And during this period, when my dad was not around, my mom gave birth to me. It was a whole lot of disappointment. She has to drop out of school. A whole lot of disappointment for our family. And dad had to, how African parents behave. They will have to disown you. In Africa, if you get pregnant out of wedlock without finishing your education, it is a disappointment, it's a disgrace, it's an embarrassment that the family will face for the rest of their life. The culture where I came out from. My mom got pregnant, she has to drop out of school. My dad didn't come, he didn't even check to know what's happening. But based on what I heard, during my naming ceremony, my dad couldn't come. He was locked in a guard room. So one of his friends had to come and represent him as my dad, while his other friend stood as the pastor that would name me, because his dad was a pastor at that period in that year during those days. So my naming ceremony was one of the things that surprises everyone till date. They didn't invite anybody, but the crowd that came was too much. They didn't cook. The crowd was just too much. They were not even expecting, in the African home that we came out from, with such disgrace and embarrassment, nobody will come out for you. But it turns out that people came out, a whole lot of crowd, and food was just surplus from nowhere. They don't know where the food came out from. They don't know the people came out from. Like, what's going on? Nobody knows. So my dad couldn't meet up with my naming ceremony. After that period, my dad never came back. My mom struggled. Started calling me bastard. Fast forward to when I already had when I was grown now, to maybe to age 4, 5, I begin to have sense as at that age. So my mom was struggling. At 4 a.m. she would wake up, go sell, go to another village, another land to get palm oil, so many things to sell, for us to earn a living, because we're still staying under our mom, which is my grandma. Life was so tough, life was hard. At some point, my education was slow, and life wasn't easy. She was just doing all kinds of business. She began to sell cooked rice in the market. So once I'm closed, once my school is closed, I will go and join her in the market. So I started assisting her. At that tender age of 5, 6, I would take food from her to go and give to customer in the market. So they knew us. We're very popular in the market. And our mom also owned a restaurant, so we were doing our own in the market. Our mom, which is my grandma, has her own shop in another place already. Fast forward to how when I couldn't meet up with education anymore. I couldn't even finish my primary school at that age. I hope you all understand what primary school is. Life was tough. Life was hard. They were calling me all sort of names. They were calling me bastard, a child with no father. But we moved, we kept hoping. My mom already gave up on my dad that he won't come back. But the shocking thing that happened during this period was that any man that came to ask my mom hand in marriage, I would chase them away. I would pour them hot water. say something or change this just to chase them away. And I will tell them that they should go, that my dad is gonna come back. Now I've not seen my dad before. I've not, as I then I didn't even know how my dad looks like. I've not even seen his picture before. But I kept on telling all the suitors I was coming for my mom that my dad is gonna come back and he's gonna marry my mom. We're gonna be a family again. My mom was just looking at me like, what's wrong with you? So the villagers were like, this girl, she's a witch. How do you do this? How do you do this? But I kept giving my mom that hope. Fast forward to a day my dad finally came back. I was playing outside, children like playing with sand, doing some nonsense, cooking with containers outside. My dad came down from the bike. Now, remember I said I've not seen him before. I've not seen his picture. I don't even know how he looks like. But the moment he came down from bike and he was walking close to where I was, the record said I shouted, "Daddy." I ran to him to hug him. My mom's siblings were like, where's she going to? People you need to rush to get hold of him so that maybe they're thinking maybe he's the kidnapper or something. Just for me not to run. So when they got there, they saw that I was hugging my dad. They were all shocked. They all paused. And they were like, how did I know that this man was my dad? I said, I don't know, but I just know that he's my dad. So ever since they've been calling me small winch, small winch, small winch. And I hope you understand that. So my dad finally came back after day and happy. Can we all hear me? Sorry for the break in transmission. Can we all hear me? So my dad came back, and when my dad came back, everyone was happy. The name calling reduced. I was calling. People started calling me my name back. No longer bastard or child, fatherless child. Those names stopped when my dad came back, and we all give God glory at that period. So fast forward to when my dad took my mom to his family to meet his people, and everything from that moment changed. Now, as a man that came back, although he begged our family for forgiveness, which they did, but he didn't pay her dowry immediately. He took her to a family, to his family rather. He took her to his family and he introduced her. Mind you, we never knew that my grandparents, which is my dad's people, were disturbing my dad to bring me and my mom home. It was when we got there we got to know this, that my grandparents were actually disturbed that they want to see me. He had already told them that he has a child outside, but he's not gonna get married to my mom. But my grandparents were telling him no, now to go and bring her and me home, that in their tribe, when you give birth or you have a if you don't like their child don't sleep outside. It's called Uriadeokin Sutta in Yoruba language. Your child should not sleep outside. It should come home to the family. That's what it means. So I believe you can all hear me. Please signify if you can all hear me. So back to the story. I got to meet my other grandparents, my dad's parents. I got to meet them. Now, meeting them was a thing of joy for me. But the struggle there was the language. I couldn't speak my dad's language at that period, at that time. I could only speak my mom's language, which is Cross River and Hausa, then a little English as at then. So getting to my dad's place, hearing another language entirely that I've not heard before was kind of challenging. So now my dad's parents teachers, they were very educative. Like the education level is top notch. My dad's mother was a teacher, a head teacher, and also an English teacher. Then his dad was a math teacher. So of course the education was there. So getting to their place, my mom stayed there for some period of time, and then my dad and my mom left to the city, leaving me with his parents. I had to start my education from scratch again. I started going to school. It was tough for me learning another language. It was very tough for me hearing another language. My grandfather, who is late now, will be shouting, will be raising his voice at me if I'm speaking my mom's dialect. Or I will be like, what language are you speaking? He will just be raising his voice at me so that I can stop the language, to forget the language and learn their own language, which was not easy for me. So I started joining. Maybe I will pick from what they say and add the little English I understand to it, even though it doesn't make sense, but they will all understand what I'm trying to say. So fast forward to when the whole thing started. I was schooling along the line. I understood the language. I finished my primary school. Start my secondary school with them. So along the line, I forgot who my mom was, or who is here. I forgot her face. I forgot my dad's face. I started seeing my grandparent that was still with as my parents. So when my mom finally said she wants me back was when she was attacked spiritually on her left breast, which we all now call as cancer. So then there was nothing like cancer. We don't know the name of the sickness, but now with the research it's called cancer. Then I give God the glory that she's still alive to today. There was no one to help her. My dad was not around. My dad, job, his military work has took him out of Nigeria, and she was the only one. She couldn't do anything on her own. She was pleading with my grandparents to let me come stay with her, but they refused because they've seen me as their own child. Maybe because of the love, I don't know the reason of their refusal. I don't know. So finally, fast forward, I finally moved with my parents. I started calling my own parents auntie and uncle, and the both of them were pinned. Like, how could I just forget their face so fast? And mind you, I stood with my grandparent for more than 20 years. I wasn't seeing my parents' face. I wasn't talking to them on phone. It was the first year I moved with my grandparent. I was only talking to my mom on phone. So I mean, a child of that age, of course, with the treatment they gave me, the first treatment, of course, I would forget my parents' face or how they look like. So I started seeing them as uncle and auntie and looking at my grandparents as my real and biological parents at that period. So they were angry, like, what did they do to me? Now, by the time I got back to my parents, I was already 11, 12. I couldn't cook, I couldn't do anything. And as an African lady, African tradition where we came out from, as of that age, you should have known how to cook, even if it's stew or rice or something. My grandparents pampered me, like the care was there. They pampered me to the core that if I want to do anything on my own, I have someone that will do that for me. That's the kind of love and care they give to me. So now, where the old battle begins. After my dad came back from Mali, I was in Mali or Sudan or Liberia on peacekeeping in the military. Life was tough for me and my mom again. My dad wasn't giving my mom enough money she deserved. It got to a point where my dad gave us 15 naira to cook, and It was so heartbreaking. My mom was very hardworking. She will go she will go out to do various kind of businesses to put food on the table. And that's how we lived till my dad became somebody today that things were now okay a little. That's not where I'm going. I just had to touch that part so that you can understand my story from childhood. Fast forward to when I was grown already on my own now. I started working. I'm done my university, NYC, whatsoever now. I moved out of where they are to where I am now to start my own life. So after my work and everything, I got a job to work on an intercontinental restaurant, which was okay. Salary was just 30,000 naira. I was managing until I saw someone that came to our restaurant and said that he likes the way I work. He wants me to work with him, and I said okay, no problem. We exchanged numbers. Along the line, I noticed that he wants both of us to date, and at the same time working with him. At first, I declined because I was like, I can't be dating my boss and be working under him as well. It's not going to sit well on me because I don't know how to manage it. It's something I've not done before, and everywhere went silent for a couple of months. When things were tough again, I decided to call him back and say, okay, let's just go on the relationship and the working aspect. And that's how we began the relationship. I started working with him, but the salary was more better than the one I was working on before, which is the reason why I considered it to work. Now, this man didn't tell me that he was married. On the day I resumed, I didn't notice he was married because I went with my friend. That's what I've been in that story. I went with my friend. My friend was the one that observed it and noticed that this man is married. I was like, no, he's not married. I was arguing, no, he's not married. I was already soaked in the relationship, and I was already in love with this guy before I knew myself that truly he was married. And this is where I'm going to. This is where the whole life trials begins from this relationship. You see, in life, before you embark on any relationship or anything, you need to pray. You need to pray. I have no experience in this kind of thing. Fine, not that I've not dated some people before meeting this guy. I've dated some guys before. I experienced a lot of heartbreak that didn't see the light of the day as at then. And meeting him was kind of a new thing to me, seeing someone that loved me genuinely like that, because truly he showed me love when we really started. Till I found out that the love was just because of what he was getting from me. That's why I said in life you need to be prayerful. In anything you're doing, you need to pray first. Even if you're going into a relationship, you need to pray. Make findings before embarking on that relationship. Even before you guys have intimacy. Because things are being exchanged when you have intimacy with somebody spiritually. Some might be good, some are bad. When I found out he was married, I was pained. Now before then, when I was already I was already soaked in this relationship, things were working well for him. We beginning to have intimacy already before I found out that he was married. Things were working out well for him. This is a guy that has nothing before, but meeting me and the love, everything, and when we started having intimacy, things were working well for him. Things were working very well for him. He's someone that doesn't have anything. He started buying cars, all the contracts started coming into him. I did not notice, but because he has seen something in me, that's why he came forth to come and meet me at that period. For those that are joining us, welcome. Pardon my English. The English might not suit well to you. This is my true life story and how to overcome life hardest trial using my true life story, what life is all about, what you face in life, the reason why. I don't know, but I welcome you for joining me. Let me go back to the story. Now, like I said, things were working very well for this man. But me on the other hand, I was not getting anything. In fact, things started becoming so tough for me. I was not getting anything. What I mean by that is financially nothing. I was managing, and I'm the type that I'm always okay with whatever I have. The money it was giving me was not enough. That's the salary. It was not enough, but I was managing. I didn't even notice that something bad is happening to me spiritually until I found out that I was married. I was pained. I was heartbroken. Like, why didn't you tell me you were married? Like, I know I know what it feels for a woman to see his wife dating somebody else, and I don't know how the length the woman stood beside him or with him that they got to the stage they were. So I was just pained because I know I experienced that with my parents, so I know how painful it is for a lady dating a married man. I know what it's behind, or I don't know how to put for you to understand. So I was pained, I was angry, like, why didn't you tell me? By that time now, we've gone far. It was now so hard for me to come out of that relationship, more like I was being caged already. It was so hard for me to come out of that relationship. Now, why did I say this? I couldn't confront him to tell him that it is over. I was scared. I couldn't tell him that I'm done. I was scared he's going to do something bad to me. Because at that period now, I'm beginning to see some kind of signs. God has begun to talk to me or speak to me through my dreams, how the kind of person he is or he was. I don't even know what to do. Now, he was busy buying houses, buying cars, stealing deals. Me, on the other hand, I was not receiving anything. And if I ask him for money or if he wants to give me money, it's going to be a small amount that will finish immediately with the rate of the way things are expensive. I moved out of where I was to take another apartment. Well, he did well. He paid for the apartment. Now, each time we meet, like we have intimacy, in any contract he has been applying for that didn't come out for him, each time he comes to my house or we meet as boyfriend and girlfriend and we have intimacy, the contracts always come in for him. I don't know if you understand that English. Like, the contract will be a done deal. And the funny thing, once we're done and they call him that the contract has been approved, something has been struggling with, he will now tap on my private part. I don't want to use some ashword because I don't know the age of people that are watching this video. I did not notice on time until I was tired. I thought I knew God. Not until that period of time I knew that no, Christ just found me. I started praying that, God, please help me. I want to come out of that relationship. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I want to come out of that relationship. I started fasting, I started praying. Where I knew that since this thing is spiritual was when I saw a vision when God revealed to me that his hands are not pure. Now, God gave me this hearing that I can hear. I'm privileged to hear languages. So when he was talking with someone on the phone, I could hear what he was saying, but I didn't reveal to him that I have this kind of talent or this all through the years was being together. And the last call he made that made me say no, this man is using me, was when he was making a call with someone in the toilet, telling the person there was a name, the nickname they called me among themselves. That is with me, that he knows that the contract will come in. And after that, after we had intimacy, he said that the contract, he told me that the contract will enter after he comes to new. And this time he's coming, and there's always, he will come, he will spend this. I'm like, okay, I want to know your house. Let's go to your house. I never knew his house. He never let me know his house. It's from one light to another. It's from there I began to sense that something is wrong. So at some point, I stopped going to work. I started going to his workplace. I stayed at home. I started praying. I started telling God to separate with the both of us. That I'm tired. I don't want that relationship anymore. Now, this was 6 years ago or 7 years ago. I have my prayer jotter. I wrote down all the things I want God to do for me. That if He bring me out of that relationship, I'll be glad. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do that. I started crying, praying that I'm tired. I want to come out of that relationship. No business I tried that works for me during that period, and it's not even supportive of any business I do. Is it will even say one or two things to bring that business down. You won't tell people not to patronize me. Nothing works for me. My financial door was shut. I was not getting anything. My life was stagnant. I was not getting anything. I was not getting anything. I was crying. I cried morning, day, and night, praying to God. I was fasting from 3 days dry fasting, marathon, to 7 days. The last day of the fasting was when a man on white. I was praying along the line, then I slept off. I don't even know how I slept off that day. Then a man on white walked through my kitchen door with a cane, wants to flog me. I held that cane and said, "No, please, you shouldn't flog me." And he told me that my tears were too much. That he came to tell me 3 things. Now, those 3 things happened immediately. Those 3 things were concerning what I was facing, what I was crying to God to help me for. Number 1, which is the relationship I want to go out, I'm stuck. Number 2 is the friends I kept at that period of time. Number 3 is how my life moved forward. That the vision was so real. It was God came down to visit me that day to give me warnings, to tell me what to do to come out of that relationship that I was crying for him to take me out for. And I woke up from this day, I was crying. I didn't go anywhere that day. I locked myself in. I was indoor, I locked myself. I cried throughout that day because I've never seen God like that before. Jesus, the image we see in this Jesus image we see portrayed everywhere. He came down. I was on a high place, trying to separate one boyfriend and girlfriend, and the boyfriend pushed the lady to fall from that high top to inside an ocean. And if the girl actually went down to that ocean, she would die. That is me in that vision. I'm the one that guy want to throw down to that water to die. But a reflection of me, another me was standing, looking. Why would you want to do this? So I quickly ran to held the lady as she has been pushed, which is me. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. At that point, I was shouting, "Jesus, help me! Jesus, help me! Jamaica, where are you? Help me!" I don't even know what I was saying in that dream, in that vision. But from nowhere, I saw angels from the sky coming down, and Archangel Michael, the speed was so fast. I've never for once experienced that kind of thing in my life. I'm sorry, I'm emotional. I'm already tearing up. Pardon me. I saw him, and we were already close to the ocean. Me and this lady that I was holding, not knowing that I was holding my life in my own hands. Now the angel was coming with full speed. And the moment we were about to enter the water, he just grabbed us with full force and landed us on the dry sand. I was like, what is going on? And I looked at there was a billboard by my side. I looked at the billboard by my side, and that's when I saw Jesus coming. Jesus came, that man was, we do see the image of Jesus. He came down and he held my hands and he was smiling at me. I was like, I have so many questions to ask him in that vision, in that dream, but I couldn't, because what, in the presence of God, you don't have anything to say but just to bow down at his feet. You won't be able to say anything because of that force he carries. You will just bow down at his feet. That was what was happening in that dream. I was just looking at him. He was smiling at me. And in one of my sense, or let me say knowledge in life, says when Jesus appears to you means a lot. And as I was looking at him, he was smiling, and I looked up to the sky. I saw all the angels assembling, remain with their feathers everywhere. I was like, is this? And the dream or the vision was so real that you would think, no, at that point I think it was real life. And God, Jesus was just smiling at me. He held my hands, he wrapped me in his hands. He was just smiling at me. And some people came out from nowhere, and now I would say these ones are my enemy. Those ones that came out from nowhere, and they were like, look at her, what is she doing there? And by the time I looked at those people and I turned back to where Jesus was, he was no longer there. He had gone. Both the angels and everybody, all of them, they were gone. It was not remaining only me and those people. So I quickly went to meet them, and they said, you think you have power that you think you can just break out of this cage, we've caged you? And I said yes, because I don't even know what I was saying, but I found myself replying those people. I told them that yes, that because Jesus has given me the power and authority over you. And they were antagonizing what I was saying. And I said, okay, if you want to confirm that Jesus has given me the power, I command you to be deaf, not to say anything again. And what I said happened to that particular person. And my neighbor switched off from generator to NEPA to lights. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. And that was what woke me up from that vision. I woke up with tears on my eyes, and I began to cry again. Like, I just saw Jesus. Jesus just came to visit me. Me, a conk sinner. I don't even. I was speechless. I found myself crying, and on that day in my room, I felt a strong presence in my room. There was this strong presence that even I started having goosebumps. I couldn't control what was happening in my room that day. I was like, what is going on? And from there, God, my life, my journey started having meaning. I started having that courage to tell this man I'm done with the relationship. So after that day, I told myself that before that day, I already made my mind up that I'm not going to let that man to touch me anymore. So the following day, he came to my house. Now his coming was to have intimacy with me again as usual. But this time around, I refused. I told him I was fasting. Even though I was not fasting, I lied to him that I was fasting. And he said, when did that one start? I was like, anyway, it has started with that. So I didn't know I was going to spend 3 days with me that day. I just saw him with Tramina. I was like, and that happens to be the third time he was spending, we bringing traveling bags to my house. I was like, are you coming from traveling or something? He said, no, like, he has come to stay, or am I going to somewhere? When the moment he said he came to stay with me 3 days, I was already crying inside me that how am I going to overcome this? How am I going to do that? He's not going to touch me throughout these days he want to spend with me. I was already scared. But at that moment, I remember that Jesus already visited me. He has already given me that power and authority not to be scared. Just like what he said in Psalm 23, that he has prepared a table before me in the presence of my enemy. I held on that word. And I was like, God, I need you to come and vindicate me. I don't want this man to touch me. I don't want him to take anything away from me anymore. Spiritually, I was praying inside me during that day, that moment. Same was like, why did I cook? He's hungry, and I didn't cook anything because I just finished 7 days dry fasting. I don't have anything at home. I don't have any food at home. I don't have any money. My parents were there. Yeah, my mom noticed that something was going on with me because before then I used to send money for upkeep to her, my younger ones. My dad was there. They were all fine, but they didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't expose that to them because I don't want them to know. I'm sorry. So I kept that to me. My mom now called on that what is going on with me. She noticed that everything is not okay. Now my mom is a prophetess. God gifted her this vision of seeing. So she saw that nothing is going on for me. I'm struggling. That this is not me. That do I used to send money to them? I don't send to them again. That what happened? I said nothing. Everything is fine. That there is no money. My boss has not paid me salary. Meanwhile, in that period, I've stopped working. I'm no longer working. At that period, for the past 6 months, I was not working. I was just surviving by my neighbor. God blessed me with the gift of men at that period of time. My neighbor was one soul that was sent to my life to cover my shame. So my neighbor will come knock on my door and said, come out. Let us see you. Let us know you're fine. Have you eaten? I'll be like, no. She's okay. Go, my wife cooked. The wife sometimes will come and knock on my door. Elizabeth, come outside. Let's talk. Come to our house. Come and eat. And they will want me to stay with them, to sleep in the house the next day. I don't know what I did at that point to gain their love. Later I realized that it was God that sent them to my way to comfort me at that period of time of my need. So this man stayed in my house for 3 days. Those 3 days I didn't allow him to touch me. The first day he said okay, no problem. Maybe the next day. The second day he went to work. I prepared me for him as usual. Like we normally leave, thinking that I was going to end up with him, knowing that he was married at that period of time. So he went to work. The moment he left, I went inside, started crying, praying to God that God should come and help me. I don't want this man to touch me. I just want him to get out of my life. I don't know what to do. I know that I have one small altar in my room. Now, this is another thing I needed to do. As a believer, you need to have altar in your house. Altar does not mean you should have one giant or something in your house. It's just where you go to and pray. That place should be holy. Oh, God alone. I created that. I before then I already saw in my vision. God gave me Jesus showed me a cross to go and get in Catholic church. I got the cross. I saw our Mother Perpetual Health. If you're Catholic, you know what I'm saying. The picture, the image. I saw it, I love it, I got it. I got the books. I don't know where the book is now. I've forgotten some of their names. I got Michael's Candle, 7 days, the bottle one. I got Scatter Candle. I got Holy Mary's candle. There's so many things that was revealed to me for me to get in that vision, and I got them. So I got home, and some perfumes. Yes, thank you, Holy Spirit. Some perfumes, Holy Michael perfumes, Divine Grace, 7-7, and one other one again, I've forgotten. I got them as it was reviewed. I went home, I created a water, and that's what I'll be using to pray. So when the moment he went to work, I began to cry, to pray on that altar. And one thing about me then that period was that the moment I started singing worship or praising God, I would see myself that I'm not in my house, that I'm in another land, and the presence of God will just be there. Like my body could not contain it anymore, the goosebumps will start coming out of my body. I will start hearing echo that I'm no longer where I think I am. So that day, I started, and here, as I was saying, the moment I started praising God or worshiping God or I want to pray, tears will start coming out of my eyes. I don't even know why. Even when I'm reading Bible, tears will just start dropping from my eyes. So that day, I started crying. I was praying that God, I need you to come and vindicate me. I want to get out of this relationship. I'm tired. I don't know how I'm going to do it. This man is with me this period. I don't want him to touch me. I don't want me and him to have intimacy, because I've seen that having intimacy with him, it takes something from me spiritually. For those that are joining us, you're welcome. I'm sharing my life story now. Thank you for joining us. So I started praying. I was praying. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And during my prayer session those days, I will play a Christian slow worship music, which will put me in the mood of worship. Like I said earlier, I thought I know God. No, that I don't know God. It was Christ that found me. I was praying with the cross God showed me to get, and I burned that St. Michael candle 7 days, and they know the St. Michael candle has 7 days and 9 days in Catholic Church. So I bought the one of 7 days. I had to heat it for him not to see. It was burning. I had to eat it for him not to see. I finished praying. He came back from work that day, and he was hungry. He was like, "Oh, I said I didn't cook anything. No, what are you going to eat? I clearly went to the market to cook something. I don't want him to notice, because leaving him in my house to the market that period, now I was now scared that he should not go and scatter or search some things. Because my mind was just thinking far. I don't know what to do at that point. So, not knowing that my neighbor already knew the kind of person he was, they hid it from me. Here's the reason why they were showing that care and love to me. So when I came back, it was already night now, about to sleep. Midnight was want to touch me. I refused. I didn't allow him to touch me. He now woke me up and said, "What is going on? What is going on? Have I seen somebody else?" I said no. And he started showing this concern that he loved me. He loved me. He doesn't want us to leave each other. That he can't let me go. I'm not like that. Was when I now opened up to him indirectly that you're married and you're hiding it from me. He said no, that's his brother's wife. Oh, it's not his wife. I say, and the annoying thing, he was married with 2 wives. The second wife he newly got married. In fact, I was even the one that went to go and get some things that they will use for their wedding, unknowing to me. He was using me big time, full time. And I told him that night that you're married. Even the second one you married is not even up to my age. You're married. I'm not even begging. I don't even want to be a second wife. I'm not begging you to marry me. Just let me go. Free me. Let me go. I was like, what am I saying? That's his brother's wife, that he's not married. He denied it. I was like, okay, fine, no problem. Yeah, whatsoever you do in life, you reap it. You reap anything you sow in life. Just know that. And if I thought he was just married, it wouldn't have been a problem. But he had kids. He had given birth. That was what touched me the most. That what is this man driving at? He just wants to turn me to an empty vessel spiritually. Me, the carrier of the glory, is not receiving anything. He was using me big time. So that day, I was praying for morning to reach so he can just go. I didn't sleep. My eyes were open. I sat down because I didn't want him to touch me. So he saw the handwriting on the wall. Fast forward to the day he was leaving my house. He said, well, if you've seen somebody else that you're scared to tell me, just say it out and I'll let you go. Say if you want to end the relationship, fine, and let's continue with work. He just want me to be around him. Can you imagine? He said if I want to end the relationship, I should end the relationship and we should continue with work. I said no. In my mind, I said no, I'm not continuing anything with this man. But physically, I told him, okay, no problem. That's what I told him. And he was like, okay. He left that day. And I was relieved when he left. Now, at this point, I was already going to church to pray. I'll go to Catholic church to pray. I'll go to statues of Virgin Mary to pray. I'll go to the statues where they put Mother of Perpetual Help to pray. I'll pray. Then I heard and for thank you, Holy Spirit. During those period, I was fighting another battle again, a spiritual husband. Life was tough, but thank God Christ came. So I was going to pray for God to help me, to set me free from him, and also to deliver me from the spiritual husband, because having a spiritual husband is real. It scatters things for you physically. Nothing will work for you. I was facing two battles at the same time. The man that was using me, that was using my glory, and the spiritual husband as well. Now, they are working hand in hand together. I went to the Catholic church. I was praying. That day I sowed seed. The little I had, God was helping me that period. God was sending people that was giving me money. I might just go out now and someone will just say, you look good over there. Take. That's how I was living. And that man stopped giving me money. My neighbor, I was not living on my neighbor's meal every day. Anytime the wife cook, if you call me, if I'm lucky they call me, I will eat. Sometimes I will stay in my room. I will not eat for days. So I went to Catholic church. That day was on a Thursday, maybe Friday. There's this prayer they do every 6 on Friday in Catholic church. If you're a Catholic, you know what I'm talking about here. So I do go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. In fact, it's even all the days. It's only Saturdays I don't go. Saturdays and Sundays I don't go. But you see, Monday to Friday I go to pray. So now this day I went to Mother of Perpetual Help statues to pray. And yeah, I went. That day was on a Saturday. That was the first Saturday I will go to pray in that Catholic church. The following day was on a Sunday. I already have it in mind to go to Apostle Selman church to pray that day. So I was praying. I was crying, praying. I light, those small candles they will put in our statues. I light it up. I put some talking there. I was praying. I was crying, praying. Then I heard this loud voice in my ear. The voice said, give what belongs to Caesar, and give what belongs to me, your God, to me. I heard that voice. I was like, who is talking? And mind you, I was only one in the church. Every other person were in this I've forgotten the name they call it. There's this place up there, they separate that you go and put money and pray. There are different sections in Catholic during the week. During the week, if you go to pray. But me, that Saturday, I went straight to where Mother of Perpetual Help statue was or is. That's when I heard that voice. I was like, and nobody was with me. I was like, who is talking? who is that? Nobody. I looked around, I didn't see anyone. I continued my prayers, and I heard the voice again. He called me by my name, and he said, give what belongs to Caesar to Caesar. Now, what was the prayer point I was praying that made me hear that voice? I was praying for him to separate me and the spiritual husband, that I know is something he can do. I know it is something he's able to do, that I know there is nothing too hard for him to do. I just want him to set me free for my life to be meaningful. So that was a prayer point I was praying. At that point, I stopped praying concerning that man, because I already see the victory that I've overcome him. But that was what I was. That was the first prayer point I made from that man. Then I continued with the spiritual husband prayer. That was when I heard that voice that said, give what belongs to Caesar, and give what belongs to God. So the second time I will hear that voice now was with full force. It was like he called me by my name and said, give what belongs to Caesar, and give what belongs to God to God. I was like, God, is that you? Are you the one talking to me? And he said, yes. He said, what I have in mind, my program that I have in mind was to go to Apostle Selman's church for deliverance, because that day was the deliverance day, the Sunday, because Sundays I don't go anywhere. I stay in my house. I rather worship online and pay tithes online. So he now said, the prayer I was praying was, God, set me and this spiritual husband free. I'm tired. Please deliver me. Let things work for me. Let my life be meaningful. He told me where I have in mind to go that Sunday. I should go there. But before that, I should give what belongs to Caesar and give what belongs to him. So I said, I don't understand. And does that mean you can't separate me and this spiritual husband? Does that mean is not in your power? Are you not the one that created this spiritual being? Because I read in the book of Enoch that you name them to be evil spirits, those fallen angels, but I don't know if they are the spiritual husband. But I know that you were the one is part of what you created on earth. Is it not in your care to handle? Is it powerful than you? Or what are you trying to say? This was what I was saying that day. And the voice told me that, not that I cannot separate you from him, but there are some steps I need to take physically to make it happen. I was like, no, maybe this is the voice of the devil. I quickly stood up and ran out of the church. I went to meet one man that used to sell one of the spiritual items in the church. And I said, what does it mean when you are praying and you hear this? He was like, you heard this? I said, yes, I heard it. He said, he kept quiet. Now, this man as well knew the kind of creature I am. So he wants me to be coming to his shop. I have this gift that any shop I go to, if you're not selling, in as much as still in that shop, people will come and buy things from me. So this man observed that. So he likes me staying in a shop. So he was like, not knowing that this man as well is jealous of me. This life is spiritual. If anyone says this life is not spiritual, that person does not know what he or she is saying. This man, and I said, look at what I heard. What could this mean? And Catholic believes that you can't hear from God unless only the priest. If you're Catholic, you know what I'm talking about. He said, you hear this? I said, yeah. He said, what does it mean? I said, I don't know. That's a maxim. What does it mean? He said, he asked me, where was I praying when I heard that voice? I told him. He said, okay. He now brought some water from his shop and said I should drink. That nothing will happen to me. Now, as he was giving me that water, he said, a man of perpetual help, come and help your daughter. And that water now, he used it to wash my face, and he said I should drink. I drank the water. When I go home, now, sorry, I didn't say this part. When I began to read Mother Perpetual Help pamphlet, the book, I saw Virgin Mary walk into my room, started sweeping some dirty dust out of my room. She was clearing some things out of my life. So After I drank that water and that man used it to wash my face, my spiritual life now, as I was growing spiritually at that point now I could not hear anything again. I couldn't say anything again. I didn't take it serious. I didn't notice it because I mean, what do I know then? So I was reading my Bible the following day. I was praying. Like I said earlier, that whenever I'm praying or worshiping God, I do feel that I'm not in my room anymore. I do feel like I'm in another place, and that place will be echoing. I didn't feel that. That day when I was praying this prayer. Now I was like, what's going on? That was when I started feeling something is going on. Something is going on. Mind you, that my man that was eating at that time, I didn't allow him to touch me anymore. You understand? And he has sensed it. So now he traveled. That's why you're seeing. I'm not talking about him now. So I didn't feel the way I used to feel. I was like, what's happening? What's happening? After my prayer, I started reading the book of Kings, First King. So that was when I heard that voice that, why did you take that water from that man? Did I ask you to take that water? Why didn't you ask me before taking the water? I was like, who is this talking to me again? Now, my sense of humor is not supposed, I have not understood that I am not growing spiritually, that God is the one talking to me. I did not know. I didn't know. So when I heard that voice, I was like, who is talking? And again, I'm the only one in my room. I was like, I beg you, what is this one again? I waved it. I was like, I beg. I read it. I continued reading my Bible again, and that voice said, why didn't you ask me before taking that water? Did I try to take that water? Do you know what that water stand for? I was like, this is serious. I was like, okay. I played along. I said, who are you? God, is this you? He said, yes. Do not take anything from that man again. Now, before you take anything from anybody, ask. I said, okay. After that conversation, I slept off. Now, I saw Virgin Mary appear to me again. At that time, I was telling her to help me beg her son to forgive me of my sins and accept me back as his daughter. I never knew that I've been accepted back already. Foolish me, I didn't know. I was busy crying, praying for mercy, praying for God to forgive me. I didn't know that God has already forgiven me my sins. He has accepted me back. He's already using me. Because that time now, I'm beginning to see visions for people. When I see something that I'll tell somebody and it will happen. I didn't know that God has accepted me back. Now this man again, this married man I was dating now came back from his travel. He came back, he landed in my house again. He thought things were going to be as usual. So I was still trying to figure out the voice I heard that God told me to give what belongs to Caesar. So when he came, he said that he wants to spend 1 week with me. I said, no, you can't spend 1 week with me. Me, I'm going to church. I have church program. The following day was on Sunday, which is a deliverance in Apostle Selma's church. So I called one of my friends. I said, see, let's go to Apostle Selma's church. Now that my friend was also facing what I was facing, but what she was facing was the spiritual wisdom aspect. Things were tough for her. She was also facing that break. So that's why I said, we need deliverance. Let's go to church. I didn't tell her what I heard. We got fast forward to the Sunday now. Now I left that man in my house. I didn't allow him to touch me. He slept. He said, okay, I should go to my church, and he's not stopping me. I went to church. I was not scared anymore. I went to church. I let him in the house. I called my friend. We met at somewhere. We went to the church. Started praying. I was crying. My friend was just busy looking at me the way I was crying. She didn't know what I was doing. She was just like, So after the prayer, she was like, what's wrong with me? share the reason why I didn't open up to her later in this video. In this in this video. So when we were praying, I was crying, shouting Jesus to come. You know, I felt along the line, I felt that peace from nowhere in my mind, in my heart. I felt one kind of peace I have not felt before. Going home with happiness, with joy in my heart, and everything is over. And when I got home, I told her, my friend, she shouldn't worry, I will talk about it later. I didn't tell her. When I got home, this man was still there. He has spare key. And I was like, why did I came back late? I said, no deliverance service. That's why. So he said, okay, no problem. I said, yeah. That night, what this man came for, this man came prepared for me that night. But I thank God, God gave me victory. This man said, midnight, this man said, let's meet. I said, meet for what? What are we meeting for? He said he has missed me. Let's meet. As boyfriend and girlfriend like we used to do. I said, no. He said it's been long. He missed me. It's been long. I said, it's been long. You cannot hold your body. Say no. He has missed me so much. Meanwhile, unknown to me that they traveled. That he told me he traveled. He didn't travel. He was around. He was actually chasing one contract worth billions. So the only way for him to get it was for him to sleep with me as usual. And me on my side, I've already gotten the thing that is going on. That boldness just came from me, and I said, no, you cannot sleep with me. It's not happening. I told him it's not happening. He said, what is not happening? I said, nothing. I said, well, it's not happening this night. Say, he said, what are you trying to say? I said, that thing you're always doing every time you and I meet, this night is not going to happen. He was looking at me, showing that face of confused. And I said, it's not going to happen. He said, what am I trying to say? Nothing's going on. Nothing. Like, I said, forget about it. As usual, I didn't sleep. He didn't sleep as well. He's not said, come. He's confused that what is happening, that I've changed. I don't behave the way I used to behave with him. That I'm no longer nice. I'm no longer loving the way I used to be. I said, and that's because things have changed now. That's because I'm in light now. That's because God has opened my eyes. He said, what am I talking about? He now said, if I want to end the relationship, I should end it. I said, well, you didn't hear that from me, but I'm done. I want to focus on my calling. I have a calling. That was what I told him. For those of us that are joining us, I welcome you. He said, what calling? I said, I now have a calling. Now, what I was saying, I don't know how what I'm saying, it just coming out of my mouth, unknown to me. I couldn't even control what was coming out of my mouth. Remember, I said that boldness just came from nowhere. I told him that I have a calling. He said, what calling? What calling do you have? I said, I have a calling, and I've started the calling. I don't want anything that will scatter or make God angry with me again. He said, what are you talking about? We dragged front and back, and along the line, he got the message. And he said, okay, if this is how you want to end this relationship, no problem. Just know that I still love you. I said, you don't love me. I don't love you anymore. And he said, oh, I've seen somebody that I don't want to talk. I said, I've not seen anybody. I've not seen anybody. I'm still who I am. I've not seen anybody. And he said, So that day, he drove out of the compound and left. The moment he left, I was rejoicing. Oh, this joy from nowhere came. It was more like hosts of heaven were rejoicing with me. I was rejoicing. I was happy. I was dancing, singing songs of praise. I was dancing happy. Like, finally, I'm out of this relationship. Finally, the chains have been broken. I was happy because that was the last day this is physical reality. I'm not lying here. If I'm lying, God be my witness. This is my raw testimony, my raw true life story here. And I want us to learn from it. I saw this ugly being, black. The only thing that you can see shining was his teeth, sitting in my door post. And I was sleeping, but I don't know what woke me up. Like I felt a tap. I just opened my eyes. I saw the being. I shouted Jesus. That boldness again came. I began to pray, to speak words. That I felt myself speaking in tongue in the name of the Spirit, but I could not say it out physically. I started praying. I started commanding him to get out. I know the powerful thing there, the joyous thing there. The ugly being opened my door and left. And at that point, I was thinking that, am I sleeping? Is this a dream? I looked and I said, this is a dream. I picked my needle to choke myself to be sure that if I'm dreaming or not. The needle pained me and said, no, this is reality. I'm not sleeping. Now, after that scenario, remember I said that voice told me in church that I should give what belongs to Caesar and what belongs to God. I don't believe that there's any mommy water anywhere. I didn't believe in spiritual husband before until it started happening to me. Now this being has been following me since. He has been sent to my life to destroy my journey, to make me useless in life. I did not know until when I moved closer to God and God opened my eyes to see that I do not wrestle against flesh, but against principalities and power. That I need to wake up in prayers. And that was the moment I said, I knew that truly spiritual husband works. That point now, from that moment now, I still don't know the meaning of that statement God told me to give what belongs to that to Caesar. I don't know the meaning. And I do not know who to share it with after that experience I had with that man that gave me that water. I did not know who to share it with. I was not so scared of who to share it with. I could not even tell my parents what I was going through. I was just doing the thing by my own, by myself, in my room. I will lock I'm an introvert. I don't go out. I will lock myself. It's always me and my Bible and my phone, my TV. There's light. I will watch my TV, read my Bible. I sleep. I do not have food to eat at home, apart from cassava flakes, which is gari. I have noodles at home, and then I'm not a noodles fan, but I'll just pick one and cook and eat. That was how I live my life, those period. So fast forward to after I saw that ugly being, I will go to TikTok to find any live prayer session to join to pray. For me not to sleep so that I will not dream bad dream. I stumbled on one live video of someone. The woman was giving prophecy. I don't even believe in all those live prophecy. As I dare know, I don't believe, because I believe that it's always arranged. I believe all these things. But that day, something just told me to enter that woman's life. I asked for request. The woman accepted my request. She started giving me messages that you have a spiritual husband that is disturbing you. That was when I was sure. I was like, how does this woman know what I'm going through for this thing? But what she said that baffled me, she said the spiritual husband is already sleeping with me spiritually. I said no. I denied. I said no. Nothing, because I don't sit in the dream that me and the spiritual husband are sleeping with each other. I said no. You are lying in this one. And the man was like, because of that, she now said that for her to set me free, I need to pay a small amount. Me that don't have money, how will I pay that kind of amount? And that amount she called was huge. I don't want to call it because you will laugh. The amount is huge. I'm not looking at myself. Me that don't have single 1,000 with me, or the lowest currency with me. Where will I see money to buy this? And she said with a goat. I left this woman, this ones about TikTok that I don't like. They are after what their stomach, what to eat. So I left the live stream that day. I started crying again that God, why are you doing me like this? Come and answer me now. Separate me from this spiritual husband. All of a sudden, I saw myself that I stopped praying concerning that spiritual husband. Now, congratulations to me that I've been set free from that married man that was using me. You understand? Now that helps me a lot from the spiritual life, as a spiritual life, the lack of finances, it's reduced it. Excuse me. It helps me in the sense that my journey begins to have meaning. My financial door, my financial status began to see the light of the day gradually. And I was not working still, but people were just giving me money. My neighbor's wife would just call me and send me 10,000. I would just be going on the way, and especially in church, Catholic church. God bless Catholic church for me during those my hard times. If I put 1,000 naira as offering, I will get 5,000 naira, double of what I give God. I will just see somebody from nowhere and say, the Lord said I should bless you, and the person will dash me money. That's how I was living. And that's why I say congratulations to me when God separated me from that married man. The spiritual husband was still there, but all of a sudden, I stopped praying concerning the spiritual husband. I saw it as something that God has settled already. Meanwhile, it was still disturbing me. Remember, I said that I did not see me and the spiritual husband sleeping with each other, but it was dealing with me on one side. I began to pray for a rightful partner. My house rent was about to due. I did not have money to pay. I carried my prayer jotter. Now, for that period now, I've joined one church channel. I carried my prayer jotter. I started writing down what I want God to do for me. My number one prayer, I said, God, my rightful partner, my own husband that will take me for who I am, that will like me for who I am, not for what he see, not to use me, that will love me for how beautiful you've created me, for who I am. Send it my way. I wrote the date I want us to meet. That's the funny part now. That year now, I wrote it down that I want me and my husband to get married that day. Now, I have not met him. I don't even know how he looks. Remember, I said I'm an introvert. I don't go out. You can imagine the kind of faith I have. I wrote it down that God, that year that I was writing this thing down, let's say, for example, 2022 now, I wrote it down. I say, I want me and my husband to have our introduction that December of that year. I don't know how you're going to do it, God. I wish I can find where I dropped that book now. I've read it out the way I wrote it. Number 2 of the prayer points is that God, how you're going to do it for me to pay, to renew my rent, who you're going to use, who you're going to send, I don't know. I don't want to know, but I want you to do it. That was my second prayer point I wrote down. My third prayer request was that God, I pray for new job. I pray for new opportunities. I pray for favor. I pray for long life and prosperity. Those were the prayer points I wrote down, and I began to pray concerning it. I wrote it down. I dropped it on my altar. I back it up with fasting and prayer. As at that time now, I've grown ulcer. I now have ulcer because of too much fasting. I don't eat. Not because of too much fasting. There are days I don't even fast, but because there's no food at home, I don't eat. Also, I've also built in me. But still, I did not allow it to stop me. I kept on fasting. See, what you don't know what is not meant to harm you will not harm you. God will not allow you to harm you. And I learned that in my journey. So I started praying. One day I went to a church, Celestial Church of Christ. That was where God gave me total victory. I see a normal me, but I'm 8 Celestial Church of Christ. Now I said my grandparents, my dad's parents. I didn't mention the church they were going. My grandparents, which is my dad's side, he was a cherubim and seraphim member. Excuse me, sorry. So I don't know what just made me to go to that Celestial Church of Christ that day. I hated Celestial Church of Christ on a normal. My friend just called me, let's go to this church and go and ask God. Maybe they will see another thing. We were just going from one church to another, from one mountain to another to pray, to break free. So when I got there, nobody could see what was wrong with me, but they could see what was wrong with my friend. But they said that I'm facing challenges, and all what I'm facing is a plan of the enemy, but they didn't see that I have a spiritual husband disturbing me. Until I met the shepherd. The shepherd was the one that saw what was wrong with me, and the shepherd said I should be coming to that church. Meanwhile, my husband that I'm with today now, already he said he is not going to, he was already facing a heartbreak, failure in relationship, blah blah blah. When I first, it was when I wrote a message that day in the church. Yeah. So now, another day we went again on a Sunday. That was when he saw me and my friend. Now he likes my friend, seeing my friend, because he has been given a message that he can't marry a fair lady. And me, I'm light skinned. My friend is dark chocolate. So he was already looking at my friend. Me, I did not even send him because the first impression, it was not my type. I don't even like it. But what am I trying to say is that the year I wrote down that I want to get married was the year I got married. That December that I wrote down, the date that I wrote down, I wrote 31st of December, year 2023, that I want to get married. We did our introduction that December. I met my husband in that church June, July. We were just talking normally because I did not like him. He's not even my standard. He's very like I cannot date this kind of person. That was what I was saying. But my friend already seen that, because when he was going, he called my name and he waved at me. I was like, who is this one? My friend was like, someone has already liked you here. I said, nobody should like me here. I don't want anybody to like me here. So because he has been given a message that he cannot date or marry a light-skinned person, he didn't pick interest in me. He picked interest in my friend. But fast forward when we began to talk. Now that period, and there was another man that saw me and liked my personality, and he wants me to marry his son. So he has told the son that he has seen somebody for him that he will marry. That no, he likes me the way the kind of person I am. Blah blah blah. Now the son was in United States as at that period. So the man wanted to give his son my number that night. There was a night vigil. Yeah, I went that night. That was when this my husband now came and spoiled the man and said, no, church girls are not good. Not knowing that he was fighting for himself, not for the man to have not for the man's sons to have me. I didn't know what was happening. They were just arguing, fighting me. I just walked out. So I exchanged number with my husband. Then that period, I gave him rules. I'm a woman of I'm disciplined. I gave him rules. Don't call me at night. Don't call me this. Don't do this. I was just busy giving him one hard rule that he cannot follow. Because I don't like him. I cannot date him. I kept on telling that my journey is not here. My journey is far. My husband is coming from abroad. That was the mentality I gave myself. God. And he never gave up, He kept on pushing. Along the line, he fell in love. He will call, he will be calling. And this is good. He was the one God used to fuel my financial status that period. He will be calling, he will give me, send me money. Just find something and eat. He will ask me to eat and say no. Yeah, he will send me money. I ate in that period. That's the funny thing. I don't like in that period. I was like, who is this one? So a day that came, he now said, can we go and pray and see if we are both meant for each other, that he likes me, he wants me to be his woman, and not just his woman, but wife, mother of his kids. I said, what are you saying? I beg, I do not want to date you. We were talking about relationship with you, and he was just busy raising my voice at him. Hey, be careful of what you say, please, with your tongue. There's power in your tongue. I started saying nonsense to him. No, I cannot date you. I don't like you. I don't do this. You're not my standard. You're not my this. This man was so patient with me. He did not say a word. And do you know why? Because I've been given a message that I'm going to marry someone from abroad. Be careful of the message you hear. Be careful of the message, the prophetic message you soaking into your head. Be careful. But I thank God that God didn't allow it to damage my journey, because of the messages I've been hearing that my own husband that we get married to is coming from abroad. And him is just here, I met him. So I was like, no. I cannot date him. Because I calmed down. I didn't say she's still yes to me, but let's just go and pray that the feelings he has for me, he has not had that kind of feeling before in his life. That can we give it a try? I said, give it a try. I just came out of one toxic, powerful, useless relationship that almost ruined my life. Not even giving myself a small break, that telling me this. He said I should calm down. He was just so calm with me. I said, I'm not praying anything. So he went ahead to pray, and God showed him in his vision. He couldn't understand the vision, so he went to meet one of a superior that is more advanced in him spiritually, that knows how to interpret dreams. And he gave him the meaning. He now called me and said, look, God said you and I are meant for each other. I said, you and who? God did not tell me that. God has not spoken to me. Sorry, mind you, that time I'm grown now spiritually, and I could not recognize God talking to me. So I was like, God did not tell me that. I did not hear God's voice. I did not hear his voice talking to me. It cannot be you. He said, okay. He gave me the assignment to go and pray. I was like, no. I did not bother myself to pray. But one day, I went on TikTok again. I saw one prophet doing a live video. I saw on the video. I went to the live, and on the live, it was just normal prayer we were praying. She now said, somebody is here. You're asking God to send you your husband. He has sent it to you. Now your husband is coming to you. You are telling him no. Okay. I was like, is this one talking to me? I live a life. I came out of TikTok. I started reading my Bible. I was like, who are these people? They send them to me again and be. So I didn't even bother myself. But this my husband kept on calling to check on me. He said he wants to come and visit me. I said, no, I don't allow anybody to come to my house. I said, okay, let's go out. I said, no, we're not going any out. Fast forward to August that same year, that he said he was traveling to one of his eldest immediate eldest brother to wedding. Now this one is he came from abroad to come and do the rightful thing on his wife. I said, okay, bye bye. He went on air. Then coming back, he couldn't meet up with the time frame I worked, so he called him and he came by road. That was where the love built in me. He said he was coming by. I said, by road? What? Come by here. What's that? And I said, okay, if you're coming by road, you need to leave on time. 6, he said he's still there. Afternoon, he's still there. 3 p.m., he has not moved. When are you going to move? I was not concerned. I was actually concerned. So around 5 p.m., he took off. I said, my God, I want to do night journey. Oh my God, I didn't sleep that day. Oh, and that day, the following day was his birthday. The way I was calling him 247. So at 2 a.m., after speaking to him, he said they've gotten to some place. I said, okay, thank God. Nothing is happening, you're okay. So getting to 2 a.m., I called him, we spoke. I ended the call. That was when I paused and I asked myself, Elizabeth, what is happening? Are you in love already? But I kept on trying, like, and the funniest thing, when I was calling him, I was feeling, this romantic, like, what is going on? What's happening? Just like that. What's going on? I asked myself, I said, so daybreak, I called, like I said earlier, I didn't sleep throughout that day until he gets to the location we met. So later in the evening, he called me. I said, this one you've been calling, you didn't sleep. Is that a sign that you've accepted? I said, a sign that what? I was still doing strong. I said, a sign that what? Mind you, that day was his birthday. He told me that day was his birthday. I said, oh, happy birthday. My husband is a twin. So okay, my regards to his twin sister, blah blah blah. I've not said yes to him. I've already I saw some wedding rings online that this is beautiful. I screenshot and began to send to him. I've not said yes to him. I was already sending him a wedding ring that this is what I love. This is kind of ring I like. I will pause and look at myself. What is wrong with me? And he has already understood the picture of what was happening. And when he called me, he said, is that a yes from you? I was speechless. I couldn't see anything at first. I was like, yes for what? Yes that what? I used. But that night, I called him back and said, it's a yes. So that's how I said yes to my husband. We dated. He was happy, I was happy. Fast forward, he was happy, I was happy. On his birthday, I said yes to him. That same year that I wrote that same prayer upon that I want to meet my husband. How God is going to do it, I don't want to know. Now we didn't date. We dated. The relationship was not even up to 3 months. December, the date I wrote down in my prayer book was that was the same day we did our introduction. Hallelujah. Mind you, I told him what made me to know that yes, it was my husband was that I told him we're not going to have intimacy till after our marriage. He accepted. And I was so sure because for you to see a man that will accept this kind of thing in this age and era is very hard. He accepted and said no problem. The date I wrote our introduction, like I said earlier, was the day we did our introduction, December that year. The following year, month of April, we did our wedding. And some people are saying God does not exist. You're joking. Now, my house rent that I said it was due, I don't have money to pay for. The married man that I talked about earlier was the one God used. And why did I say God used? He just sent money to my account without telling me. I just saw the alert. The reference was your house rent. The very day my landlord was supposed to call me to ask for the money, that was a day before that day, yes. That was when he sent that money to me. And he said your house rent. I was speechless because everything was just working accordingly, yes, and the way I wanted, the way I wrote it down. You understand? I got a new job. After that. My husband and I were already dating. We did our introduction that December of what the date I wrote. The following year we got married, which was April of the following year we got married. Now this is where another hard trial occur again in my life. After marriage, life was never easy for us. The devil tested us. God tested our faith. Life tested us. Immediately after our marriage, things went back so far the way it was. I don't know if this English is correct. Things were now overhard. To feed was not a problem. Mind you, God has already told us that we should not do this my wedding elaborate way, which we abide on. We listened. We didn't do it in an elaborate way. Even though some people were angry that we did not tell them. As my parents, they have crowd. Let me just put it that way. After marriage, battle upon battle. 3 months after marriage, things were hard. Where God shows us the handwriting on the wall, but we did not. Let me just say we ignore to read the other handwriting. Because before something will happen to you in life, God will show you first. God will give you the sign. He will explain to you. Either He speak through your dreams, He speak to you through dreams, or you started seeing the signs physically that things are not okay. He will always give you a sign for you to know. But we ignore that sign. We did not know. We didn't pay attention to that sign. Now, my husband's family were our problems. All was our problem. Was our problem. They didn't want our marriage to hold that day. My dad, thank God, God used my dad that day. My dad said, if they don't want this man, my dad called my husband and told my husband that, see, they don't want this marriage to hold, but whether they like it or not, this marriage will take place. And to God be the glory. Everything works. My dad and my parents sponsored the whole wedding. It was a shameful thing for me and my husband, because my husband was the one that picked the wedding date. It was the one that was picking all the dates. You understand? So this is someone that has money, that is financially okay. But the moment his family heard about it, everything just went dry. And you know, in Africa, what that signifies, they will tell you that the leg of the woman you're about to marry is not good. That's what is meant in Africa home. But because we are in Christ already, we do not see that. We didn't count it anymore. When they were telling us that, when they were saying that to him, he didn't even count it anymore. He said, I am his wife that God has sent to him from heaven, and nothing anyone will say to him that he will listen to. The only person he will listen to is God and my parents, which is father, because his mother is late. The importance of parents in child's life is very, very important. So I pray for everyone under this sound of my voice, listening to this my story, that the day of your child's celebration, you will not be missing in Jesus' name. You will not be found one day or out this, so you will not be missing. You will not be absent in Jesus' name. So, and fast forward, the marriage, thank God it was successful, but things were now hard for us. Now, after the marriage, we're trying to conceive. They attacked my husband with infection. You know that kind of infection that you have that you're not able to conceive. After marriage was the first day my husband and I met as husband and wife. We had intimacy. We're expecting pregnancy now. But it didn't come. I was now forced to go and get a tablet. I've forgotten the name. That actually, what that tablet works for is to hold his palm strong in the womb, so that for the baby to grow, for the sperm to start growing. That's the work of the tablet. I bought it, and I lied to my husband that the doctor said we should get this, because I don't want him to feel bad that it's a problem at that point. So we used it. We got pregnant. The moment I conceived, one of my husband brother traveled down to where we are. I'm trying to keep my location private, so for one or two reasons. Please just try to understand. For security reasons. So he came, he stayed with us. He already knew that I was pregnant before coming. Now, we didn't tell any of them that I was pregnant. It was just me and my husband that is aware of my pregnancy. We were happy I was pregnant. The first day he slept in our house, when it was morning time, he came to tell us that he had a dream that a baby was coming to call him Big Daddy, Big Daddy. My husband and I looked at ourselves. My husband gave me a signal that should we tell him? I said so. Let's tell him, he's your brother. And he said, okay. We told him. He said, yeah, bond, power of blood is thicker than water. Hey, this is that. We were happy. And he warned us not to tell anybody. We said, no, we've not told anyone. No, it's only you. He said, that's good. After that day, the following day, the pregnancy started having issue. I started seeing brown discharge. What is happening? I'm already booked an appointment that weekend. We will go to hospital to check the status of the baby, go for antenatal and all of that. We went. And that discharge, it disturbed me, my place of work. I was feeling pain. I would go to work. I was feeling pain. I even collapsed one day. And my husband had to rush me to the hospital. So getting to the hospital, they said they could not find any baby in my womb. So the test carries that I'm pregnant. But when they scanned it, they could not find any baby in the womb. Like, what kind of thing is this? I've never heard of this before. What is this? They rescheduled our appointment for me to come back. We came back. The exact date they gave us again. The same thing again. They could not find the baby. They redid the blood test. It shows I'm pregnant. They did urine test. It shows I'm pregnant. They did scan. Scan said there is no pregnancy. Hey, what kind of thing is this? I was already worried that, hope it's not this late or what. So the doctor now asked me, did I take any this? I now told her this is what I took when it was hard for my husband's sperm to stay in my body. And what pushed me to get this medicine was that each time my husband and I meet as husband and wife, instead of the sperm to go into me, everything will pour out. You understand? Everything will just pour out by itself. So I was worried. Like, if we continue like that, there's no way. Excuse me. Sorry, but what I'm doing is because of the little tears or cry that I cried. So my nose is now blocked. So back to what I'm saying. The sperm could not stay. I was worried, which is what made me to go to the hospital to request. Now, I didn't know about the medicine. I browsed it and they told me, they gave me, which I explained to my husband. I did not tell him that is his fault. or is the reason why. You understand? I hid it from him because I don't want him to feel bad. So now I was asked by a doctor that was attending to us that I now explained to him. He said that's not the reason. In fact, that will even help the child to position well, and it will prevent the child from being harmed by anything at all. So my mind was relaxed. I was now worried that why is this scan not seeing the baby? At first, both we and the doctor, all our thinking is that okay, maybe because it's too early for scan to dictate. As at then the pregnancy is already going to 2 months already. So we came back at 7 weeks again, the same thing. What was going on? And I'm in pains, The discharge is now much. We don't know what to do. And so one of our church member that is a doctor, my husband called him and said, "Sir, are you in your hospital?" We changed hospital. Last days, he told us to come. We went. We explained what I'm facing. So they started their own test for my friend. They did blood test. They did urine test. All shows that I'm pregnant. And I said, okay, let's go and do scan. I was already pressed. So now before we enter the scan room, I heard that voice that usually talk to me. I heard it telling me that they are going to do surgery for you. They are going to do surgery for you. Your baby did not make it. I was like, get behind me, devil. This is not devil. This is not God. Get behind me, devil. Excuse me. Oh, God have mercy. So the voice came again and said, they are going to tell you that your pregnancy is an ectopic pregnancy. I said, no, God, this is not what I want. No. And the same time I started saying, get behind me, devil. This cannot be the Spirit of God talking to me. Only me, where I was sitting. And that voice left. 5 minutes later, the voice came back again and said, they are going to operate you. They will tell you as you go in there that your baby did not survive it as an ectopic pregnancy. I said, no. God, if you're the one talking to me, let me feel your presence. And one breeze blew from outside into the inside where I am. Everyone I was just was like, what kind of thing is this? And I started feeling goosebumps. And now that's the signal, or how God told me to know how I will feel is the one talking to me. And I think this thing happens to everyone. Whenever you're feeling goosebumps, now don't think it's cold. Don't think you are cold. It is God trying to call your attention to something. It was through my growing days that I knew this, that when God, how you identify God's voice from other voices. When He's talking to you, your body you rise. You feel goosebumps. And if you're in the spirit, if you're praying, if you're in the spirit, there is no how you feel that goosebumps. That's God trying to tell you that He is with you. The presence of God is with you. So when that voice was telling me that, I said, no, God, if you're the one talking to me, let me feel your presence. Let me know you're the one talking to me. That's when I felt that presence that I explained just now. And I said, no. I started praying that I will give birth to this child. Nothing will happen to me. Nothing will happen to my husband. I said, Anna, I will give birth like the Hebrew women. I started praying. I started saying, no. When I was praying, the guy that was in charge of this scanning something, I said, we should come, as our turn. We went in this scan. The good news was that this one now, they could now see the baby. We were happy that the baby is fine. I was seeing the baby from the scanning and this thing, but I did not know whether the baby is alive or not. I don't know the baby. I don't have experience of how they look or how they do or how they behave in the womb. When the guy saw it, he didn't say anything. He held everything. did normal scanning, they will put on your stomach and you didn't sit until we use that one that they will put through the vagina before we now saw that okay, there is a baby in the womb. Truly. You understand? So he now said, okay, that I should go and pee. I said, no, I'm okay, I'm not present. He said, no, I should go and pee. Not knowing that he's trying to let me go out of the room so he can tell my husband what the situation was. So when I went to pee, he now told my husband that if I come back, he's going to give my husband a sign. And the signs are, if he give my husband one signal, it means the baby is a pregnancy, baby is dead. If he give him another signal, it means everything is okay, because he wants to redo it, to cross-check, to know, to confirm what he's actually seeing. So when I came back, he re-examined me again, and he gave my husband that signal. My husband's mood changed. I said, that something is going on. I started asking my husband, baby, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? What is going on? He said, nothing, everything is fine. The doctor said everything is fine. Till we left the room, I sat down. Now, when I sat down, my heart started beating fast. I was not scared from nowhere. I was not scared. I called my husband, baby, what is going on? Tell me what is happening. That's when my husband opened up to me and they said the child is dead. And it's an ectopic pregnancy. I said, what's an ectopic pregnancy? Meanwhile, before we went to the hospital, I saw myself, a day before we went to that hospital, I saw myself searching on ectopic pregnancy. What could be the cause? What does it mean? That was why I got the knowledge of ectopic pregnancy. So when my husband mentioned that, I was like, what? Was that the reason why I was making findings, or what pushed me to make that findings? I don't know. I said, what is ectopic pregnancy? It is not my child. It can never be. I've never been operated on before in my life. In every single day of my life till this hour, I've never gone to the hospital for me to lie on hospital bed. It has never happened in my life. That was the first day of me lying in hospital bed. It seems like the moment I got pregnant, I'm going for checkup, yes. I only go for them to give me tablets or inject me and I will go. But for me to lie on a hospital bed, for them to give me drip, never in my life. That was the grace God gave me. If I'm sick, I drink water, or I take paracetamol, or I treat malaria, and that helps it all. But for me to lie on a hospital bed, for them to give me drip, never in my life. So I don't have the experience of surgery. I was so clean. My husband said, I was like, what is that? It can never be me. It can never be me. The doctor now called me and calmed me that I should calm down. That the earlier the better, before something burst out, they need to carry out the surgery ASAP before 6 p.m. that day, because we went in the morning. I was like, no, God can do something. No. So the doctor took us to one church, and I asked that church in the front just for us to pray before the surgery. Not knowing that my husband and the doctor had already agreed. You understand? We got to the church. The man said, go and pray to God. When I got to where to pray, do you know one of the prayer point I was praying? I said, God, you're a God of wonder. There is nothing too hard for you to do, Baba God. Come and do what only you can do. They told us that this child is out of the womb, that the child did not survive it, that the child is dead. Come and do miracle. Push the child back. Remember I said the voice told me that they're going to operate on me. I said the voice, they will tell me the pregnancy is an ectopic pregnancy. When I was praying that prayer again in that church, the Holy Spirit flashed my memory back to what he was telling me. He said, didn't I tell you? I began to cry. I said, why will you allow this to happen to me? What have I done wrong again? Have I sinned? What am I doing again? No, I'm a sinner. The doctor said, let's go. It's time. Let's go before it ceases. I said, Before what? We got to the hospital. My husband called my parents. I was crying. Our pastor, he called. I was just crying. I was crying. Oh. Everyone was just consoling me. Don't worry. Everything will be alright. My mom was also crying. I was in pain. Then that day we couldn't do the surgery. They said, the doctor took us to his one of his friends, which is very good, and one of the best doctor of where I am now. He said he just finished operating someone with appendix. He said, well, before he could do any this thing, he will have to redo the test. We brought out all the different tests that was carried on me. So when he said he would do his own for fresh, I was already happy that yes, this one will see it clear. You will see that the baby is back to the womb. I was just giving myself hope. I was believing. I can hope for Africa. My faith is out of this world. I was just believing. I was hoping that there's something God cannot do. I was crying at the same time, hoping that when this man started carrying out his own test, everything will change. So when he said, okay, it's time, something just came up and said, the man said, let's go, because we're not prepared. We didn't bring anything. He said, let's go. We should go home, prepare ourselves, and come the following day. I go home and say, thank you, Lord, I did not do the surgery today. That day, I couldn't eat anything. I was not moved to do anything. I was just quiet. My husband was looking at me. I couldn't say anything. I was just busy crying. My mom, my dad is the type that has a soft heart, and they were all wondering and surprised why such thing will happen to me. I was like, I don't know. Remember I said it was when my husband brother came that he knew I was pregnant, that all this situation started begins rather. At first, before we told him, everything was fine. The moment he heard about it, problem starts. Now, this point, this is where I wanted to pick here. If you are married, learn to keep secrets. No matter what, learn to keep secrets. Study the circle you have and learn to keep secrets. If your circle is the type of circle that have jealous people, please learn to keep secrets in life. Not everyone in life will have a good circle. If you have a good circle, fine. But if you know your circle is very bad, the circle you keep are very bad, learn to keep secret, because they will jealous you, and that jealousy will now give birth to what will make them to do harm on you. Not everyone in life will have a good circle. If you have a good circle, fine. But if you know your circle is... And another thing I will tell you, when I was praying for me to meet my husband, I was praying for a God-fearing man. Remember how I describe the kind of man I want. Now, I forgot to add in my prayer point that the family you will come out from should be good and nice to me. And another thing I will tell you, when I was praying for me to meet my... In life, if you're praying to God for something, be specific. If you're praying for a rightful partner, be specific. Don't just pray for the partner alone. Pray for the family he's coming out from. In life, if you're praying to... Please, it's very, very important. Be specific. I didn't put this family in any of my prayer. If you're praying for a rightful partner, be specific. Don't just pray for the partner alone. Pray for the family he's coming out from. There are some people that their family are a no-go area. But if God says that's the family you are going to, in fact, your prayer point should be, Father, this family I'm entering, I'm going into, let there be no hatred. They should not hate me. They should like me. They should not wage war against me or on me. Do you understand? So now, we're in the moment We started having the pregnant started having issue. My husband brother left. We called him to tell him that this is what is happening. This is someone that is well to do, is rich. 1 naira he didn't give us. And the money for the surgery was so high. We did not have it at that point. Remember I said we were facing challenges. Life was tough for us. It was people we did not know from nowhere that gave us money for that surgery. We went to my dad gave us recommended another hospital for us where his friend was. That was where we went to. They did, and mind you, after we got home that day, sorry for jumping, I didn't eat anything. I was crying. Everybody was just trying to calm me down. The next day we prepared, we packed everything, preparing for the surgery. Now my dad now called one of his friends at where we are now to